Hey everyone, it's Ethan here, in the day, if you can believe it, but this new episode of HGO has had a few problems going through the editing process. Essentially, the whole video recording for this episode is janky as heck, and I haven't been able to finish it, hence the delay. So, you're going to be seeing something a little bit different on the video version this week. You're going to be seeing some gameplay, you're going to hear our voices as normal, the background's going to be like this, but imagine my webcam just being replaced with gameplay. I tried to fix it, it didn't work, I've spent 4 hours on this, so this is the partial solution for this. I'm sorry, it's one of the best episodes we've done in my opinion. I love this episode, it's great, it's just cursed, so I hope you enjoy. Here it is then, here's a brand new episode of HGO featuring our voices again, just like the old times, but yeah, hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you next week where hopefully everything's sorted out. But yeah, thank you for your patience, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the video. Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to HGO, the show where we talk about everything that's hot in the world of gaming. I'm one of your hosts, Ethan, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host with the co-most, it's Hunter. Hey Hunter, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just as well this week.
Yeah.
How's life going for you?
It's going alright, man, it's going alright. We've had so many technical difficulties. I'm already just going to turn you up slightly because you're like, oh my god, the screen just went red. Ah, the horror. The horror. But no, I'm doing alright. It's weird. We're kind of doing this at the last minute. It's a weird vibe. We've had a load of technical difficulties. We're just going to live with it, I think. We're just going to have to deal with it. We're also joined by the Weeb Wonder himself. It's Kyle. Hey, Kyle. You doing alright?
Us doing things at the last second? We would never.
Never, man.
Not
Never.
even once.
No. Hey, I blame your family, dude. I blame your family for showing up on Saturday and then being like, oh, push it to Sunday, and then they left, and then we were like, oh cool, let's still push it to Sunday anyway, because we're too lazy at that point.
Yeah. I told you I was available, and you're like, fuck it.
Hunter was too busy playing Bloodborne. Yeah, Hunter was too busy playing Bloodborne.
I went through like the coolest area in the game last night.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll talk all about it, because we have nothing to talk about this week. We do have a bit of news to talk about.
Quiet week.
It's been a pretty
it's a
quiet
good thing
week.
People who like Bloodborne a lot.
Yeah, it's a good job, because I haven't played games. At least you've played something this week. Because this week we're going to talk about Microsoft buying up more shit that people don't want them to buy, Sony closing more shit that they don't want to close, that people don't want it to close, and much more, because this is the HGO podcast where each and every week we come to you every Monday to talk about everything that we love in the world of gaming. You can find us on podcast services everywhere, including iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon Music, you name it, we're on it. Head on over to our Twitter at HotGamersOnly. There's a link in the description, or you can go to a linktree/HotGamersOnly and you can get us on your favorite podcast service, or just search Hot Gamers Only if you want to do it the old-fashioned way. You can also head to our YouTube channel to get the video version where you can see our faces each and every week. Just head on over to bit.ly/HGOYT and you can find the versions of these podcasts, which go up at the exact same time, which is 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern each and every Monday. Without the way, bit of house.
Now.
Yeah, back to normal now that everyone's back in the same time zone. It's great.
Thank God.
For now, yeah.
Fuck daylight savings time.
Yeah, man, it's
I
don't
pretty
remember
bad. If we said that last week, and if we did, it bears repeating.
Yeah.
Fuck daylight savings time.
Fuck it, dude. Like, genuinely. But yeah, we're back to normal. Bit of housekeeping. Persona 5 Strikers review. I nearly called it Scrambled then. Persona 5 Strikers review is out on Wednesday. Hunter's got it done. It's already ready to go. It's more prepared than this podcast is. So it was 100% going up on Wednesday. Time TBD, so go on over to the Twitter and follow us. You'll get an upload notification, I'm sure. Or you'll get a retweet from one of us, I'm sure as well. Yeah. But go and check that out on Wednesday. We really would appreciate the support on that. It'd be great. And then, yeah, that's basically it for housekeeping. We've not really got anything else. Positive ratings on podcast services and all that jazz. But with that out of the way, I guess we'll start with, as I am graciously calling it, the Discourse that's been happening. You like that, guys?
Discourse, that's a good one.
I like it.
That might be the title. We'll see.
Baby.
We'll see. But one of the big news stories that's happened this week is I'm getting this from IGN because the Wall Street Journal forces me to buy their articles and I'm not buying shit. So I'm just nicking it off IGN, who have read the article and are actual journalists and have actually paid for the article. So thank you, Jordan Ollerman at IGN. I appreciate you doing this for me so I don't have to buy things. This is coming from Microsoft. Microsoft is reportedly in exclusive talks to acquire Discord, and the deal could be completed as soon as next month. The Wall Street Journal cited that people familiar with the matter, because of course they do, they never people that know nothing are just telling me this. It's like, that's always a stupid thing when they say people familiar with the matter. Anyway, I'm talking shit. Has backed up that
Timmy on
Bloomberg...
the street said.
Yeah. It's backed up that Bloomberg, another place that I have to fucking pay for to read articles, you get that one free article every month, and then it's like, pay! And I'm like, no.
You gotta pay the Schreier tax now.
Yeah, you gotta pay the Schreier tax, or just look in the description where people have put it into their own words. Anyway, Microsoft is in talks to purchase Discord for $10 billion or more. And that Xbox boss, Phil Spencer, was part of the discussions. Microsoft and Discord are in exclusive talks and could complete the deal next month, assuming the negotiations don't fall apart, the article says. It also points out that the acquisition is apparently tied to Microsoft hoping to reach more consumers across both gaming and social networking. A similar drive saw Microsoft try and buy TikTok last year. Blah, blah, blah. You know what Discord is, I assume, if you're listening to this podcast. But there you go. Discord, 10 billion. Thoughts? We used to use Skype back in the day.
Yeah.
And then what happened to that?
Who owned Skype anyway? Because wasn't that decent until it got bought and then it got...
Yeah, it got bought by Microsoft.
Yeah, and then it died. Essentially, people made Discord, so because Skype was bad, it's going to be a never-ending cycle. They're going to buy Discord. Discord is going to become bad, and then someone's going to make, I don't know, Recourse or something silly.
Yeah, it's one of those things where this is different to the Bethesda thing, where I'm not scared of a monopoly or any of that shit. I'm scared of Microsoft buying Discord because Discord is a good product, and I'm scared of Microsoft fucking this thing up massively like they did with Skype. That's my main fear.
As they tend to do.
Yeah, like it's just terrifying because it's like, how cool if it gets Xbox integration and people can use it on their Xbox or whatever, or wait. Yeah, stuff like that. But to me,
all of us in our Xboxes.
All of us in our Xbox. Yeah, look at mine over there. Imagine if I bought one. Yeah, nice box. Dude. That's a HP box. You're not fooling me, Kyle.
I could squish it and then it would be an Xbox.
Hey, yeah, true. But it just doesn't seem like it will go well. That's my thing, is after every other thing that they've bought to do with this kind of thing, I just don't see it working.
It seems like every time some big company buys a product that people tend to like, they just get worse.
Yeah.
When Google bought YouTube, I feel like it got worse.
Yeah,
when it got bought by Amazon, I feel like it got worse.
It did get worse.
Skype being bought by Microsoft, it's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, it's what's interesting is I did read up that a load of people said that the Bloomberg article was a bit misleading, as if this is a done deal. Apparently Discord's options right now are either being sold to Microsoft or going public trading wise, so they become their own like publicly traded stock. And I'm hoping that they pick the public trading because their estimated worth is more than 10 billion. So
yeah.
You'd hope that they go with that option and not take Phil Spencer's money. It's just Phil Spencer's fucking whipping out the fucking checkbook again. I don't know. Xbox has changed in the past 7 years, but Microsoft hasn't. I feel like Microsoft has gotten worse. You have to pay an annual subscription for Word and shit like that now. You have to... Windows doesn't even... Windows feels less complete than it ever did. Skype is still hot garbage. They never fixed it. They just basically left it to die. Which is funny, because they've also made other products. Instead of fixing Skype, they were like, oh no, Teams. We'll make Teams. What a great idea.
Teams sucks too.
And Teams sucks as well.
What is Teams?
Microsoft Teams? It's
business
garbage.
Skype.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's business Skype.
No.
Basically, imagine Skype, but like
more convoluted.
More monotone because it's just for businesses, you know, like that's basically what it is. It's terrible. I remember that. I'll give this anecdote. I had to use Teams once for like a job interview, and my webcam just didn't work, and the fucking microphone was janky as hell. And I'm like, this is a great experience, dude, because the interviewer was like, "Oh no, Teams is fine. You don't need to worry about setting stuff up beforehand. Just install it on the day." And I'm like, "Yeah, bullshit." It was the most convoluted Windows thing ever, where as soon as you install it, it already wants to update. It already wants to fuck with your settings. Do you want to make it your default communications device? Do I shit?
No.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hang out with my buddies, dude. Do a movie night in Microsoft Teams. Can't wait,
dude. And then the fact that it boots up every time you start your computer. It's great. Well, wonderful features.
Yeah, fuck that off.
My favorite.
I hate when things do that. But no, it just... I know we seem pretty negative on Xbox and Microsoft recently, but I don't know why they keep buying... Like, Bethesda makes sense. They want games. At least they have games.
The one thing I think we neglected to mention about the whole Bethesda thing is that they were looking to be bought.
Yeah, true. They were looking to be
bought. I guess at least they weren't bought by Tencent or something like that.
Yeah, it could be worse in that regard.
So,
yeah.
I forgot about that detail while we were having that discussion, so my outlook on that has shifted ever so slightly.
Yeah. Same. Financial security. Discord, though, I'm just like, looking at the writing on the wall, I'm just like, no, this is like when Xbox like bought Rare and just like butchered them, and then you were like, oh
yeah.
And you're like, whenever they bought another team, you're like, please don't do that again. Please don't do that
again.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like praying. So yeah, we'll see.
Leave Ninja Theory alone.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll have to see where that goes. I don't really have anything else to add other than we'll see in the next month when it happens.
You know, eventually I'm just going to have a whole bunch of random Xbox exclusive stuff stacked because of their integrating it with Discord. You know, you'll just have the random free trials for Game Pass offered off every couple of months.
Oh man, like honestly, one of my main problems with Xbox Game Pass right now is, especially on PC, it's absolute shit. It might be a really great deal and it might be really good on console, but my god, you remember with Tell Me Why, the application is garbage. There's hardly anything on it. It's not worth the value. And Kyle, you'll love this, dude. They designed their app so there's no throttle on the download, which means that if you're downloading anything using the Xbox app or the Game Pass app, it eats 100% of your network connection so that you can't even Google anything anymore, and there's no way to limit it. It's so
Why
badly
would they
made.
do that?
And things could change. If they've changed that, please let me know in the description. But I remember downloading Tell Me Why, and my computer just was like, no, you're not doing anything else. Fuck that. You can't even...
My computer had a violent reaction to the first few minutes of me playing Tell Me Why. Like, I had to... before I bothered, plugging in a controller or something, I was just, using the keyboard and mouse and all that.
Yeah.
And I had to, for one of the things you had to, click and hold the mouse for...
Yeah.
It wouldn't work. I had to go and set up some weird software so that I could use my PS4 controller.
Yeah, I think I used a janky Xbox controller where the left trigger didn't even work properly. It was a great experience, but it's still a good game. But
yeah, it was a good game.
It was funny.
It was just a matter of the PC Game Pass thing and just not jiving with my computer very well.
Yeah.
On the subject of Game Pass, Octopath Traveler has recently been put on Game Pass. So anyone with an Xbox, you really go play that video game.
That game's everywhere except PlayStation now, which is interesting.
It's really weird.
Yeah. Sure is. It even made it to Google Stadia.
So
miraculously.
The two Stadia,
which I think is now shut down.
It's still going.
Not yet.
It's on its final legs.
Things not on PlayStation 4 right now: Octopath Traveler and Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah. I don't know if that ever came back to the store. I would love to.
No, it didn't yet.
Oh, has it not? Great. That's good shit. I do want to actually
Don't worry,
quickly...
they're working hard on it, I'm sure.
Yeah. I did just want to give everyone as well, while we're here, just give you a warning about Crash 4 on PC, because that came out this week. And I just want to give everyone a warning that The game's already been cracked within 24 hours, which is usually a bad sign for a game if people have been that fucking eager to crack the game code. But the game requires you to be on battle.net at all times. It requires you to be online at all times. It does multiple checks. And also, new gen controllers don't work. DualSense is not supported. For a fact, DualSense is not supported on battle.net, and maybe the Series X controller. I'm not 100% certain on that. So you can't even use all controllers on it. So I just wanted to give everyone a heads up on that.
It doesn't even...
PC
I understand maybe not having, all the magic features of the DualSense, but being able to plug it in and use it like a controller at least should...
Doesn't work at all, and it's a bit of a shit port, to be honest. Like, it works well, and it's well optimized and stuff like that, but in terms of...
Did they patch the fun out of that version?
No. It's fully patched. Like it's got the PS4 patch where the invisible walls aren't there, so it adds another fucking. It's like nature's mysteries. Like fucking, why does the PS4, Xbox One, PC have one version, the Switch have its own unique version, and the PS5 and Xbox Series X have another fucking version? Why does this happen?
Which one is different?
Yes, the Switch one is different.
What's wrong with the Switch?
It's got different problems with it and different patches. and stuff.
Lord. Oh no!
Yeah, and because it's capped at 30 FPS, some of the glitches work differently. It's really weird.
Oh,
there's so many different versions of that game. But I just wanted to give everyone a warning that if you're planning on picking up Crash 4, maybe wait until they add that support, because they do obviously we do not recommend cracking or piracy or anything like that, but the fact that people were able to pirate the bugger, make it offline, and support new controllers within 24 hours says that this isn't a hard fix for Toys for Bob to do. So get on it, Toys for Bob. But that was fucking atrocious, so I was like, better bring that up while I remember. Anyway, moving on from the Crash 4 warning, let's talk about another company doing something that people aren't very happy about. Let's talk about this whole PSN rumor situation going on. I'll throw this to Hunter in a second, but first I'll act as if we're professional and read from gamesindustry.biz about what the rumor is. So yeah, shout out to Brendan Sinclair over at Gamers Industry, because I'm about to rip your words off right here. Sony is planning to close its online stores for the PS3, PSP, which I didn't even know was still up, to be fair, so shout outs to the PSP still going. And the PS on July 2nd, with the Vita shop following on August 22nd. That one hurts. The report further states that an official announcement will happen later this month. As of recording, it's the 29th of March for me, 28th for you. So I don't know. I think they might have pushed the announcement if they are, or it's happening today, and that's maybe it'll get confirmed today. That'll be funny. But anyway, Sony did not respond to it, but basically the whole the PS stores for all three of those consoles will be going down this year, according to rumors. PSP, I kind of understand. It's been a while. And we don't know the extent of this, right? Because it could be, you can't buy things anymore, but you can continue to download everything that you want. PSN still works on Vita. That's one thing that most people are scared of right now is, will PSN continue to work on Vita? That's one of the big things, is our trophies, our parties, is all of that going out the window on Vita? And PS3, I guess. Oh my god, if PS3... That'd break my heart if all those PS3 games are just like, no online, no fucking trophies, they're dead. That'd kill me. But anyway, I'll throw it to you, Hunter, first, because you wanted to bring this topic up. What do you think of all this shenanigans going on?
I don't understand why the higher-ups at Sony hate, old things so much.
Oh, did you see that Jim Ryan quote? I feel like I should bring up that Jim Ryan quote for Kyle. He'll really enjoy this quote.
Please bring it up for Kyle.
Old games quote. You carry on talking until I find it.
So I feel like it makes sense to sunset things as you move into something else, obviously. But, I feel like you shouldn't do it without finding a way to bring these things forward.
Yeah.
As far as everything that was contained in the store. Because, there's plenty of, the PS3 era was when the start of the digital exclusive things arose, so there aren't physical versions of everything now. Some of these things could be lost forever.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. No, Karen. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, yeah. So, until recently, Scott Pilgrim, for example, was one of those things that just got pulled from the store, and then if you never had it but heard people talk about it, well, screw you. You don't get to play it.
Yep.
Can I just say, I think it's kind of ironic that currently I've only just noticed it's going away. I think it's fading out. I'm not 100% sure, but the current theme that's currently on the screen for the HGO colors is the Persona 4 theme. I think that's kind of ironic because we're talking about the Vita dying.
Yeah.
But anyway, for Kyle, here's the quote from Jim Ryan. This was from, this wasn't even that long ago, 2017. When we've dabbled with backwards compatibility, I can say that it's one of those features that is much requested but not actually used much. That, and I was at a Gran Turismo event recently where they had the PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. And the PS1 and PS2 games, they looked ancient. Like, why would anybody play this? This is the head of PlayStation that just made that quote of, who wants to play old games, right? So that was the Jim Ryan
First of all, talk about choosing a bad example. Gran Turismo's whole thing is being as realistic and simmy as possible.
Yeah.
So, maybe playing the previous versions of those wouldn't be so hot. But you know what? There are plenty of other games that existed back in the day that are have completely different design philosophies now.
Yeah.
Games now,
Yeah. It's one of those things where, to me, some people are pointing towards a patent that Sony had, which they've had this patent for years about emulated games having trophies and stuff like that. So people are like, maybe there's hope. I'm like, don't fucking get your hopes up. Literally now, it's going to be like, what's that? You wanted that PS3 game? Well, we've got this shitty streaming service called PlayStation Now. Do you want to pay up, Bucky boy? Let's go. You too can play Sly 4 in its intended format of laggy on a fucking streamed platform that's even worse than Stadia. Hot. And the load times aren't fixed either, because it's basically just running on a PS3 some fuck somewhere else. Like, it doesn't even work. But it's weird. I feel like there's a compromise that you could make here. One of my things was, if they're worried about server space, ditch all the fucking, for PS3 at least, digital-only games, leave the digital-only games up. That would be my thing, is if you're going to let people leave the digital-only games up, which are usually, especially for PS3 and Vita, are small, bite-sized games that are hardly big. If they have a physical release, like if you don't want The Last of Us taking up storage space, fair enough. Chuck The Last of Us out. Get that out the store, because people are probably going to buy it physical or on PS4 anyway. That's probably, there's a halfway point here that you can meet. Vita, I have no fucking clue why they're shutting the Vita store off now. The fucker's only 9 years old. I panicked. I have my PS TV right here because I was
honestly, it shocks me that they even remembered to shut the Vita off.
Yeah,
because PlayStation.
I have my little Vita TV here because I was playing Crash on it. But when I heard the news, I was like, well, fuck. So I downloaded Persona 4 Golden on the Vita TV because I'm like, I need that because I own it. And then I was also like, I downloaded 2 copies of Crash 2, one on the memory card, one on the internal. I downloaded like Spyro and stuff like that. It sucks for more reasons of, people aren't going to get games. Like, for speedruns, this thing's a fucking godsend, because in the PAL territory, all of the Spyro emulators, like all the Spyro games that are emulated on this thing, are the NTSC version, which are the better versions. And for Crash 2 in that space, the version that's on here is the PAL version, which is faster for everyone, so it helps the people in America as well. It's really good for speedruns. But even stuff like Persona 4 Golden, thank God that got a Steam release.
Yeah, right.
All the little, like, indie games that are always going on the Vita. Like, it's a real shame for them to go away. Which is why I'm terrified.
Severed from Drinkbox, for example. Mm-hmm. That's something that got glossed over, that now, because of Drinkbox's new game coming out, might have some kind of renewed interest in, when people are like, hey, the studio's pretty good. Let's see what else they've done.
Which is why I'm hoping it's just PlayStation Store's going down. You can still download your stuff and you can still go. If they're disabling the whole of PSN, that's fucked, because like that takes away all of the support Like, that takes...
Yeah.
What happens to digital games in that regard? Sony hasn't stated. Is it going to be a thing where Sony has, like, a network where instead of the way... Because usually it checks with the store that you own the software. Are they going to do a thing now where it does one final check and it's like, yeah, this person owned it before the store closed, this thing now works forever, or does it just go? Are you locked out of your digital downloads? Trophies. Am I now going to have to rush and play P4 again on this fucking thing so I can get the Platinum Trophy so that I have all the Persona trophies before August? Do I have to do a speedrun of the Platinum?
I gotta make sure to buy Persona 3 on the PS3 before that goes.
I'm glad I have. I better make sure I've still got it downloaded. Will it still work? Like, there's so many questions, and I don't understand why they're doing it, to be honest. How much money are they actually going to save from doing this? That's my thing, is why it just doesn't make sense.
I don't get it. It's
preservation
irritating.
sense, it's absolute garbage.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when, like you say, Hunter, there is no alternative. There's no, what's that? You can't buy Sly 4 now on PS3? Well, don't worry, we have a solution for that on PS4. No, that game's locked there. All the Ratchet and Clank games from that
Yeah, there's a lot of
are locked
games
there.
that, even games that got physical releases, there's a lot of them that are still just only on the PS3 too, so your physical copies that exist in the world could suddenly spike in, like,
they are 100% going to
for
spike.
sure going to.
Like, I've seen, for the past several years, I've seen Metal Gear Solid 4 hang out at GameStops for like $10, and now on eBay 2 years from now it's going to be like $100.
My recommendation
It's
for
just
you,
silly.
if you want to invest in something right now that's cheap enough in the US, and it's like 40 or 50 quid here in the UK, I definitely will before August, and you don't even own a Vita, buy a fucking copy of Persona 4 Golden right now, because if those servers go off, that game is going to that is going to be one of those Chrono Trigger, like, going to be one of those massive fucking games that in 20 years no one has a fucking copy of it, and it's going to be like absolutely gone. Like, that's going to be one of those games. Persona 3 as well. Yeah.
Snatch that
Persona
real
3
quick.
Portable as well, yeah. P3P, that's going to go up in fucking sales.
Because right now those games sell for like $20 on Amazon.
Yeah, get them while you can. I mean, you
cheap.
can't. They're not here in the EU, where they sold about 5 copies of each of the games.
Man.
It'd be cheaper for me to import
$25
copies.
for Persona 3 FES.
Is that a physical copy? That's not bad at all. Like, yeah. That's pretty good, because it's going to be absolutely shit. Like, JRPGs in particular, everyone has a fucking copy of Uncharted. Like, everyone has a fucking copy of that.
Yeah.
But, like, JRPGs in particular. Yeah. JRPGs in particular, they're going to be the real hard sells. And I know, like, because they're just collector's pieces at this point. Like,
For sure.
Especially Vita games. Vita games are going to fucking fly now. Because it's all of a sudden gone from a console that no one cares about to...
physical Vita game?
Pardon? I don't have a physical Vita game.
Copy.
I don't have a physical Vita game.
Cool.
I remember, and I regret doing this, when I visited America for the last time in late 2019, I went into a GameStop because we were going around a random mall for some reason, and I saw a physical copy of Persona 4 Golden, and it was like $15, and I was like, I'm gonna buy this, but I'm gonna come back in a bit. And then I forgot to go back, and I fucking regret that, because looking at it now, already the UK version of it is like 50 quid. If I want to buy a used copy, it's like 50 quid for it. But it's gonna get worse. And the reason it is that low, I still think the reason that is still that low is because, hey, if you go on the little Vita store, if you go on the TV, the store, and you see how much Persona 4 Golden costs on there, it's like 12 quid. You can go and get it for 12 quid. That's what, and it's sold really well digitally, but my digital copy, it doesn't fucking matter. Throw it in the bin, you know? Fucking eat that shit. It's gone. We'll see what happens, but man, it doesn't help that the PS3 is such a shitty system. And don't get me wrong, I love the PS3, but the way it was made, it was like fucking mad scientists in a lab where they were like, let's make this fucking Frankenstein's monster of a console that no one knows how to develop and no one's going to be able to emulate in 1,000 years because it's that complicated.
It's crazy too, because their weird like processor or whatever is straight up used for other things
Yeah.
Like, I remember reading a headline or something, I forget exactly, but it was like they use PS3, the like cell processors to power like supercomputers or
Yeah,
something
it's like it's
wacky,
supercomputers and shit.
right?
Yeah.
But they forgot to make it easy to develop games for.
Which was the whole thing behind Mark Cerny and the PS4, where he was like, we're bringing it back down to where it takes like a month to get things on screen. And it was like, the PS3 is going to go up in price. PS3 games are going to go up in price.
Oh, baby, it's a good thing I've got 2 of them right here.
No, you see, I've just got one. I've just got the George Foreman grill. I've got the worst one.
Yeah,
I've got the fucking...
And one of them special.
We about
it's
to
like the
cook
Metal Gear
some
Solid
fucking
4
beef.
gray one.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I don't know how it's going to go. I think it's going to be a shit show either way. I would not be surprised if Sony's already rethinking things.
Like, they could just change... If they, like, tweaked PS Now, which they won't because I don't think they care to, they could just make it, I don't know, overhaul it. Make it... I would settle for something similar to the Switch's Netflix, even, so long as it exists, or so long as these things get to keep existing.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily that would be the greatest solution, but it would be something.
It's gonna suck,
yeah.
man. It's really gonna suck. It's not gonna be a fun time. And the Vita's already expensive. It's already an expensive console to get your hands on now. Like, I joke, like, when I got this, like, 4 years ago, just for shits and giggles, because I wanted to see the fast loads on Crash 2, it was like 20 quid. These are like 100 quid, 120 quid now to buy these things. And the Vita's just as expensive. They're not cheap. And they're going to skyrocket. It's kind of like the Wii U. People don't realize that the day the Wii U eShop dies, the Wii U is going to be one of Nintendo's rarest consoles to collect for. It's going to probably be one of the expensive ones. It's just so fucking dumb. And every time Nintendo's done it, Nintendo, to be fair to Nintendo hasn't done it for a console where you've had actual, like, full proper game, like, downloads fully yet. The Wii Shop had things, like, they had exclusive things on it, but most of the Wii Shop stuff was kind of smaller, niche things, like niche titles, smaller software.
And the breakout ones were put elsewhere, you know?
Even Nintendo hasn't closed the 3DS store yet. Or the Wii U store. They haven't put the Wii U shop off. The Wii U's been dead since it came out. Like, what the fuck?
and Nintendo, at least half of their business model is just selling things that they've already sold to you again. So they're just going to take all that stuff and bring it over in some regard.
Man,
Sony's just more than happy to just wave bye to everything that's came from years before.
Like, fucking... But no,
I'd really just like to know what's stopping Sony from taking, like, PS1 games and putting them on the PS4 store. Like,
nothing, probably. Licensing, doing it. Like, say, Jim Ryan just thinks people don't want to play old games. I feel like...
But I do...
My one hope for this is the turning point where they're like, okay, PS Now they're doing a revamp of PS Now. That's my only hope, is that they're seeing Game Pass as a threat, and they're like, okay, we'll put PS1 and PS2 games on PS Now.
See, I don't think that...
But they won't.
I think
they'll start
doing that once their business model of sell you these nice exclusives to our console quits working.
I mean, it fucking works. Like I'm gonna buy Ratchet and Clank when it comes out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
If I have money at that point.
They can definitely change PS Now to compete with Game Pass when they need to. They just don't need to yet. So they're not gonna.
It just baffles me, man. Like,
yeah.
Thank fuck the Atlas moved golden. That is all I'm saying. Because at least with P3P and PSP has, for a while now, again, I am not endorsing emulation, but PSP is one of the best systems to emulate. I've heard from people. I don't actually know because I don't emulate shit, but it's one of the best emulators. So P3P kind of has a life legacy ahead of it where you can do that. Same with Persona 4 and Persona 3. They're on PS2. You have the games for a while. Persona 3 really, I believe, I'm firmly been in the camp for a while now that P3 will at least get a remaster, if not a remake, at some point in the future. And P4 Golden is on Steam at least. And I'm really hoping Golden comes to fucking PS4 and Switch this year as well.
Me too. I'd love an excuse to play it again.
I mean, well, Sony's already given me a fucking hostage situation at this point. I might have to go and do it. Come join me, Hunter. We'll do a fucking co-stream where we sit there and play through the game on the PS Vita version at 15 frames a second.
I also never realized how small the PS TV was.
Oh, it's like it's tiny, dude. It's actually, in comparison, I don't want to throw my phone up and have things show up, but like, there's an iPhone 7 for comparison. It's smaller than an iPhone 7. Yeah, it's really small.
I don't know how big I was expecting it to be, but not that small.
Yeah. I'm trying to grab something. Sorry, audio listeners, you're kind of getting shafted. The DualShock 4, which I actually use, there's the size difference. The controller's bigger than the fucking console that you actually plug it into, which always makes me laugh. But yeah, it's really small. And it was really cool. It's a shame that it kind of died. And it's only used... It very much is. It's a speedrunner console. The PSTV is a speedrunner console and a Persona 4 Golden machine, because every other game doesn't really fucking work with it. But man, is it a good Persona 4 Golden... Oh, puppy.
Oh, it's pup time again.
It's puppy time. This puppy time is brought to you by insert sponsor.
It's Chew the Wires time.
But no, one thing you've got to look forward to is if they do announce that the PS Vita trophy systems are going offline in August, you can look forward to a Persona 4 streams throughout the whole month of like June and July as I go and get that platinum, because you're damn straight I'm going to go and get that platinum before the stores close. So you can at least look forward to that.
You're out of control.
I've got Persona... Right, I have base Persona 5. I have Persona 5 Royal. I have Persona 3 dancing, Persona 4 dancing. I need Persona 4 dancing on Vita. Fuck.
I think you'll live without it.
I think I'll live because I've at least got
the dancing version of the Vita version of the dancing game?
Yeah, Persona 4 dancing was a Vita game. And then when they made 3 and 5 dancing, they ported 4 for the special edition to PS4. And I'd just like to say they made Persona 5 dancing too early. Atlas, I would gratefully take another dancing spin-off called Persona 5 Dancing 2, where you add Maruki and
DLC,
Kasumi to
my
it.
guy.
No, I want a full-blown sequel with all the royal tracks in it. With all the royal tracks in it. I want Maruki dancing to a fucking cover version of Ideal and the Real, dude. Make it happen, Atlas. I'm watching you. Fuck Arena off, dancing too. That's the spirit.
Nah, dude, give us Arena.
Nah, dude, fuck Arena. All of my homies want dancing in Starlight too.
I want Arena.
Featuring Kasumi from the Persona 5 Royal series. Add Dante to it, I don't fucking care.
Persona 5 Royal series.
There's still a part of me.
At this point, that's how it feels.
There's still a part of me that's thinking that one day Atlas is going to announce a spin-off for Persona 5 Royal and say that that's the sequel to Royal, and when everyone goes, oh, so it's Strikers, like, no, completely different story. Those two games are completely separate and have them be their own franchises. I'm just waiting for that to happen at this point, because Atlas just
Final
likes
Fantasy
money.
13.
We are never seeing Persona 6.
Or the 7 remake trilogy, or the 7 remake line.
The 7 remake.
What will come out first? What will come out first? Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 or Persona 6? What comes out first?
Remake.
I'm inclined to say remake. Don't really have a reason.
See, I am too, which is terrible to say, because it's a fucking Nomura game. We were all thinking that it's more likely for Nomura to release some bullshit than it is for...
I mean... He's already making Final Fantasy VII Part 1, Part 2.
I mean, they've already announced... Development's been underway for Remake Part 2 for ages. But so is Persona 6, apparently. It's just no one's talked about it. Another question, Kyle.
Also, Persona games are a lot bigger than Final Fantasy VII Remake.
You see... Right. Here's the thing. Interesting topic. I'm not gonna timestamp it. So if we're done with PSN talk, so if you want to go to the next topic, we're just going to go on a rant here. Skip to the next timestamp ahead, whatever we talk about next. But the thing with Persona versus Final Fantasy is Persona's really long, but it's got a good game economy, which what I mean is they get their mileage out of their costs, so that there's a great video on YouTube that I saw the other week where it was like looking at the animation of the all-out attack and how amazing like they do with those things with so little animation and so little like parts, they can make something look extremely flashy and cool, and they do that with using like very bare minimum. Whereas Final Fantasy VII Remake is like you can see Cloud sweating in a certain frame, and zoom in and you can see like the wrinkles on his skin, and you're like, it's one of those things where it's like, yes, they're shorter, but when would I be able
to see those details?
The budget is massive. Like that's one of those things where it's like, I don't know which would take longer. Atlas spends a lot of time on Persona though, so who knows? Persona 5 was in development for how many years? When was 4? 2008?
It was supposed to be a PS3 exclusive.
Yeah. It was supposed to be 2013, 2014.
I think it was 2013.
Yeah.
True to their word, they at least put a PS3 version out.
I kind of want it.
They put out a workable PS3 version. Take notes, Cyberpunk.
I kind of want it at some point.
Yeah, you can grab that before it turns into like $5 million.
Oh, fuck, I need to do... Damn it.
Gotta get the plat there, too.
I should grab it too, just because I already have like all the other PS or P5 copies now.
Yeah, that's my thing is I have the collection now. I have 5, I have Royal, I have a physical copy of 3 and 5 Dancing. I kind of want gold. Like, if they announced Golden coming to PS4 and they announced a physical edition, you're damn straight I'm fucking buying the physical edition. And you'll be damn straight that I will be pissed when my PS5 sounds like a lawnmower while it's playing it, but I'll still buy it. You know it's going to happen. Or maybe I'll buy 2 copies like a madman. Puppy's going wild.
It's very amusing to me hearing your guys' buying processes, whereas I'm just like, well, I've got Persona 5 Royal, and I'm never playing Persona 5 Vanilla again, so I don't need a physical copy of Vanilla. So...
I mean, to me, it's different. Like
completing the set.
Oh
right.
God.
Okay, here's my question. Right. The difference is with P5 is similar to how... It'd be similar to me more like to you. It'd be more like having... It's like something like Kingdom Hearts or something like that, where it's like, yes, 1.5, 2.5 is better, but I still want the base one because it's one of my favourite games ever. I just kind of want it for the history, not because I want to play it. I kind of want it because, fucking hell, that dog's going to chew through that cable. Why talk when we can just let the puppy do everything? Welcome to the podcast.
This is the new podcast.
This is the new podcast.
It's just a dog.
It's just a dog. Why not?
It's just Animal Planet.
She is a crowd favorite.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of those things.
I guess if we want to talk about completing the set, like the Xenoblade series, I have 1 on the Wii, 1 on the Switch, 2 on Switch, Xenoblade X, and Nintendo released Torna physical, but I still only have it downloaded, and I don't much really care to get the physical. I don't know, that's just me. And here's Ethan, about to show it off.
Oh, fuck, I pulled out Breath of the Wild instead, fuck. Yeah, I own all 3. I specifically went out of my way. I don't know what it is, like, and it's funny, because I'd say out of the 3 of us, I am the most eager for the digital future out of the 3 of us, I would say. Where, if someone said to me, oh, we're making the digital version, like, $5 cheaper from now on, then I would be straight away fucking yeeting these things out the window like frisbees, going, yay, it's over.
I need that $5 tax all day. I don't care.
But Torna was a special one where, because I loved Xenoblade 2 so much, I wanted Torna physically. I didn't buy it digitally, though. I didn't buy the Season Pass. I specifically said, I'll wait for them to announce the big DLC before I buy the Season Pass. And they were like, it's called Torna, and it's coming out as a standalone. I was like, cool, I'll buy the standalone then. But I know what you mean. It's like with Last of Us, right? When Last of Us did it, it's like a little spin-off thing. If they had told me, oh, Left Behind's being released physical, or you can buy it digitally, I would have bought that digitally. I wouldn't have cared that much. Or Uncharted Lost Legacy is a bad example, because that was a DLC that turned into a full game, so I did end up buying a physical copy of it. But It's just one of those things where it depends on the game, man. But I'm also the kind of person where Hunter is the kind of person where, God, that dog. He's
going to town.
Yeah, she's going to town. But Hunter's very much the kind of person where he'll wait for a physical sale to happen on the physical game. Where he's like, oh, cool, the physical version's $20 now, I'll buy that. Whereas I'm just the kind of person of, if I don't buy it at release, it goes into the back of my head, and it goes to the point where it's like, PSN store, here's the March Madness sale, and here's this game for $15, and I'm like, yeah, buy, download. I never go and check the physical to see if this physical's even cheaper. I just buy it. I'm just like, yeah, digital future.
Here's a funny little thing regarding Hades back here, is that it's probably going to come to the PlayStation, and I'm probably going to buy that version of it physically too, because inevitably when Limited Run does the Pyre physical version, that's going to be a PS4 game. And it'll be real weird to have 3 Supergiant games be PlayStation 4 and then only have the one be the Switch.
Can we talk about how we saw that Xbox Indie Showcase was happening, which we'll talk about the fantasy draft in a second.
Yes, we saw that.
So you saw there was like an Xbox event, and I sent it to Hunter because I was like, oh look, Hades is as part, like the Twitch branding has Hades on it. So Hades might be coming to Xbox. And I'm just like, I'll have a look out. Turns out that event, Twitch clickbaited us. Hades is not coming to Xbox. It is not announced or anything like that. So yeah, we were just clickbaited. And I was like, that's weird. I only just remembered now that I was like, yeah, Hades was part of their marketing, but there you go.
I'm so heartbroken that I can't play Hades on the Xbox.
Hey, I want Hades. I do want Hades to come to PS4, to be honest, just because
Me too.
I don't have anything against the Switch, but it's got to the point now in the Switch's life cycle where the gimmick's kind of worn off on me, you know? Like, the whole Switch is an idea of take your games anywhere. Oh, look at me, I'm on the toilet and I'm playing Mario Kart. Look at me.
From what I understand, Hades would be a really good mobile game.
Oh, it would.
Like a good game to play on the go.
100%. But I very much realised... Audio listeners, you're going to have to get on the video version at bit.ly/HJOYT.
We have dog.
And have a look. The puppy is she is devouring Hunter's earphones, and he's just like, oh my god, like...
She just bit my hair.
I think we found the intro to the podcast this week is just Hunter being devoured by a dog. Oh.
She keeps biting like the arm of the chair, and I have to keep getting her to quit it because she keeps finding.
Oh, he let go of the push to talk.
I have to keep getting her to quit because she keeps finding the foam, like in the innards of the chair.
Is that what you pulled out of her mouth earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. So I saw you throw something, and I'm like, huh.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll move on. We'll work with it. What were we saying? Oh yeah,
I don't know.
Hades and being a good mobile game. Yeah, it is. But I think myself, like every other, let's be real, 80% of the Switch audience that don't own Switch Lite. Switch Lite's obviously you play it in handheld and all that. But I think 90% of Switch owners, like me, realized, oh, we're not the Greg Millers, we're not the IGN, the GameSpot people.
We're not going to conventions every other week.
Conventions every other week.
And even they aren't anymore.
We're not traveling. The Switch is a cool idea, but the furthest it goes out of the dock is here because I can't be asked to switch the HDMI cable so it comes to my monitor. That's the kind of experience the Switch is to me, where the docking and undocking, it's kind of gotten old. So now, if it's like, at first I used to be like, oh cool, I'll buy a game on Switch, like Crash for the portability or whatever. Now I'm just like, why the fuck? Because if I'm playing it, I'll probably be home, and I'd rather play it on the PlayStation or on PC or on, even if I had an Xbox, I'd be like, yeah, play it on that instead. Just because I don't really care, and most of the time it's so...
My Switch only leaves the dock when I am going to hang out with a friend or something.
Same.
I genuinely don't.
It's funny, I have 2 docks as well, because I technically have 2 Switches. That other dock just stays in the drawer. I never use the idea of, oh, let's go to a different TV, like they did in the advert. Because like most people, I'm not rich enough to have that many TVs around my house where I'm like, a dock for you, we gaming today. Like, no, that's not happening.
There were actually times I was in college last year where I would bring my Switch over to my friend's dorm because I had all the DLC on Smash Bros. And he had a Switch dock in his place. So I actually got to make use of that.
Yeah.
And I think that was the last time I moved my Switch out of my house.
Yeah, it's
or like out of the dock.
It's one of those things. Like when you say again, you're very much of the camp of I don't care about Switch Pro. If it happens, I don't give a shit. And I'm similar.
I am only getting one if they make me buy it to play Breath of the Wild 2. Like, if it's that new... remember when the new 3DS was the only way you could play, like, the Xenoblade port?
Xenoblade Chronicles 3D,
If that is what they do with Breath of the Wild, then I'll get a Switch Pro. If not, I don't care.
Yeah, you see, you're very much on the camp of, like, you can do that. Whereas if a Switch Pro comes out, and they're like, yeah, the handheld is the only experience where it's really better. Like, it's like, oh, it's got this OLED and it looks nicer. Then I'll be like, yeah, I don't give a shit. But if they're like... the games look less ass on your TV now. Like, you don't go and boot up 3 houses and go, let's count the pixels. And then my favourite game is playing a Switch game like Fire Emblem and then moving the right analog stick and going, how much does this motion blur make me want to throw up right now because the motion blur is that heavy. Crash is also a great one for that. No, not Crash, Spyro. Sorry, Spyro Reignited on Switch. It's great for that. It makes me feel sick because of the frame rate. But anyway... it's one of those things where I'd buy that instantly. The Switch to me is kind of... I love the Switch, but it's kind of lost its luster except for with exclusives, which is where it shines. Like Animal Crossing, gorgeous game. Mario Kart 8, still a gorgeous game.
It still looks really good for being a Wii
8
U
years
game.
old. It's fucking gorgeous. Like 7 years old, it's an absolutely gorgeous game. I adore Mario. I wish they make another one, but they're not. It always does
What's
make me
going to come out first, Mario Kart 9 or Persona 6?
Fucking don't ask that question. But it's one of those things where it's like with the Switch, where it's like, oh yeah, there are some really great looking games, right? There's Animal Crossing, there is Mario Kart. Xenoblade looks good for the restrictions that it has. Where it's one of those things where it's like, that runs on a handheld, that's impressive. Especially with Xenoblade 2, I'm very much like... Xenoblade 1 I'm not impressed with, because I'm like, this is a Wii game, of course this fucking thing should run. You're not fooling me. Like, you should, like, Xenoblade 2 though, I'm like, yeah, that's impressive that runs on a fucking thing, because it was built as a console RPG. So, yeah.
I mean, Xenoblade 2 has issues where, like, if you skip travel and sometimes textures take a minute to load in.
It doesn't look... like, here's the thing, right? If Xenoblade was on PlayStation or on another console that had more power on it, it would look even better. It would look incredible. Whereas a lot of times I look at Mario Kart and I look at Animal Crossing and I go, I don't know if they'd look that much better on... like, you'd see, like, there'd be higher resolution and it would look cleaner or crisper. But, like, when I look at Animal Crossing, I'm like, for the most part, if it was on a PS4, it would look the exact same, just a bit sharper. Whereas Xenoblade, I'm like, they could probably do a bit of a bigger jump if they had that kind of power, which one day I hope they do. I really hope Monolith does get to make a massive RPG.
Yeah, Nintendo is pretty good at stylizing the visuals of their game so that it doesn't really matter so much what the power of the console is.
But everyone else isn't. Which is why the luster of, unless it's an exclusive, I don't, like, that's why if it's not an exclusive for Switch, I don't care. That's where that mentality's come from me in the past few years. Before, I'd buy third-party stuff quite a bit on Switch. I'd be like, yeah, I'll buy that. I'll try that out. Let's do that. It's on sale here. Cool. It's lost its luster. I'm like, oh, what's that? I'll buy it, like, even something like Phoenix Wright. At first, I was like, yeah, I'll buy it on Switch when it comes out. Now I'm like, why the fuck would I do that? I'm just going to buy it on PlayStation because chances are I'll want to talk to people on PlayStation while playing it, or if not, I want to plug my earphones in, which is a lot easier on the PlayStation or something like that. It's just one of those things where it's kind of lost its luster to me. So I don't know why we went
support with the Switch if you're having it undocked.
Yeah. One day, I know this is a bit selfish, and I hope they keep doing the Switch thing. When we eventually get the Switch 2, I really hope that the whole handheld meets console is the thing that Nintendo does now. That's what I'm hoping. Or if they do if they do go back to a home console, they have it be just a more powerful version of a handheld. That's my kind of hope for it. But man, it's starting to show its age. Like, part of me doesn't want to Switch Pro because there's a selfish part of me that just like, make a new one that's fucking better. Just make a better one that's like PS4 level at least. Come on. But we won't see that for a while.
Super Nintendo Switch.
People think the Super Switch or the new Nintendo Switch or whatever the fuck they call it is going to be like this revolutionary game changer. And I'm like, it's not going to be. Let's be real. Prove me wrong. I'll chuck more money at you. I bought an Animal Crossing one. I'll fucking buy one, obviously. Hopefully I'll have a steady income by the time that the Switch 2 is... The Switch Pro is actually coming out, but man... It's just one of those things. I went on a massive tangent to the point where I don't know why the tangent started. So, I guess
let's move either. On. I think it started with Hades.
Oh, Hades, yeah. Can't wait for it to come out on console, on PS4. I'll play it then. Or if it's super cheap on Switch.
Speaking of Hades, it won 5 BAFTAs earlier this week.
Yeah.
Hurrah.
My favourite thing was, you might have seen me tweet about it, was Last of Us won like best game voted by the people. Like that wasn't even the best game by the jury. It was by the people. That made me laugh. Where I was like, that's the only community voted one, and Last of Us 2 won. I'm like,
I thought people hated this.
I thought people hated the game. Apparently, it was just very much a load of loud people on the internet. Not. What a shocker! I'm shocked.
I can't believe it.
Like. Honestly, I can't wait till we look back in 5 years and everyone's going to act like they always thought that they liked The Last of Us Part 2 and it was other people that didn't. I can't wait for that to happen.
You and I will get to be like, oh no, I remember.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you said it was terrible. Anyway.
And we have video we can point to and be like, yeah.
We have a podcast.
Checkmate, bitches.
I guess we have ranted a lot today. Well, and by we, I mean mainly me, with that fucking section on the Switch. So I'm going to be quiet I guess I can be a bit quiet now. I'll let you... Have you got the Fantasy League up, Kyle? Because I feel
I do.
Like it's time for a Fantasy League update, because shit's actually happened. So I'll throw it to you.
True.
You can run us down with the ones and twos. I don't know what we've talked about and what we haven't. So... I'll let you talk about what you've picked up, what I've picked up, what I've had scored, etc., etc. Pass the baton to you. Go, bud.
I guess before we get into all that, we can take a quick look at the standings.
Oh, yes.
Me and Jack sitting at the bottom, zeros, no reviews yet. We're doing great.
It's okay.
Jack still has $100.
He's going to take it all.
Jack hasn't bought anything. No,
he bought Shovel Knight Dig for $0 because he knew no one was going to try and contest him on it. There's one thing I love about Jack right now is Jack has put all of his eggs into games will come out this year basket. Whereas I used to be like that. Like,
it's a bad basket.
You'll notice, like, even Kyle's got desperate because Kyle's picked a couple things up. One of them, I'm like, cool. And I'm like, one of them, like, you really are wanting games, like, just to come out and score because you picked one game that I'm like, wow, someone picked that? Same with me with one, but anyway.
Hey, man.
Oh, are you talking about... Well, I'll let him do it.
I take the Hunter approach and just go with my faith.
Hey, I go with my gut and my brain. He goes with his heart.
Third place.
Speaking of Hunter, he's taking right in the middle. A nice 5 points.
Thank you, medium.
Every time I see the medium got a 75, I just chuckle so much, dude. Because I haven't played it, but to me, I feel like that game was robbed. Unless I haven't, you play it.
It's going to take a year for me to report back to you too. Yeah. I don't know when it's coming to PlayStation, but
yeah,
I gotta buy that.
I'm either going to be like, I'll be like, why did I want to play this? By the time I do, or I'll be like, oh, those reviews did it dirty.
This got snubbed.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those, it did get snubbed. I'm just hoping one day that Lord Phil Spencer will look at us and go, yo guys, do you want some fridges? And then we'll be like, yeah, boy, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping it comes a day.
Podcast in exchange we'll give you a fridge.
I will become a Todd Howard shill if you send me a fridge. Not even joking, dude. Not even joking. I can bring out my 5 copies of Skyrim whenever you want, Phil. Just send me a fridge. Anyway, carry on.
Anyways, taking second place is Sam, a nice 32 points.
Yeah, from 3 releases. We should specify that. 32 points from 3 releases.
Hunters had 1 release.
Yeah.
It was the medium. Scored 75.
5 points.
But in the top spot, it's Ethan. 2 releases. Both came out on the same day.
Let me tell you guys, March 26th is going down in history because not just 1 game of the year came out that day, but 3. We didn't pick up Balan Wonderworld, but my God, game of the year. But
yeah, worst game of the year.
Right, yeah, that game's so bad. Have you seen the whole seizures thing that's gone around about the final boss causing seizures?
I've heard about it, yeah.
I watched the fucking video, and I started to think that I was epileptic because I couldn't handle it.
Oh, no.
It made me have a headache. And I was like, this must be bad because it's giving me a headache. It was really bad. It's one of those, it's that flashy that it's fucking with me. And I'm like, I know I don't have epilepsy, so it's weird. But anyway, carry on. Yes, great day for me.
Great day for Ethan.
It Takes Two. I'm not going to lie. I remember saying Hunter. I don't remember if I said it on the actual episode, but I definitely said it at some point on one of the episodes after it, where I said that I thought It Takes Two was a risk from me. I remember specifically saying that I don't know if it will do so well, but I have faith in Joseph Fares to make a good game. And let me tell you, he fucking pulled the stops. He's apparently made one of the best co-op video games of all time. Also, fun fact, there's a level where you're in space, there's a satellite radio that you can hit, and it plays him screaming "fuck the Oscars" from the Game Awards. What a great Easter egg. 10 out of 10. Nice. What a great video game. Thank you to Joseph Fares and everyone at Hazelight.
It sounds like you made it up, but I also believe it.
No. Yeah. I want to give a massive thank you to Joseph Fares and everyone at Hazelight for making such a great game and making me look incredible with my picks. I would say thank you to Monster Hunter, but who's the fuck surprised about that getting an 87? I'm not. Is anyone actually surprised about Monster Hunter doing well?
Good job, Monster Hunter Rize.
It was like one of the safest bets. I think the only other person that has a safer bet is Sam with Ratchet and Clank. I think that's the only other safer bet, because I'd call Horizon a safe bet, Kyle, but fuck it, is that coming out this year?
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild 2 would be a safe bet, and God of War would, but they're coming out next year, so
those games.
But no, anyway. Yeah. I'll let you carry on now. I've had my little gloat. I have become the villain of this tournament arc, and I can't wait to be dethroned when I have 3 games that release at the end of this year. It's going to be great. But man, we're going to be eating well, boys. 287s.
You're like the cartoon villain who's like the fake villain, just serving the real villain.
Who's the real villain?
Not yet.
That's to be decided.
I was tame, dude. I was tame on Twitter this time, dude. I was tame. Like, there's going to be a part of me where I'm like, what's coming out next? Like, Oddworld Soulstorm. If that's shit, Jack is getting harassed on Twitter that entire day. Like, let's be real here. Baby. If Oddworld Soulstorm comes out and it's got a load of 60s, he's getting so many fucking GIFs and shit posts sent his way on that day. It's going to be unreal.
Dude, that's Sam's counter pick. Sam could be eating well that day.
I think that game's going to do alright, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get him negative points.
I don't know. Oddworld is one of those games where I can see it either scoring really well because everyone that played it is an Oddworld fan, so it gets like 81 and 82. I can also very much see Oddworld being a medium situation where it gets a 75. I can very much see it being one of those. We'll see though. Anyway, do you want to talk about some of the pickups that have happened?
Yeah. So we kind of touched on this briefly last week. I had picked up Life is Strange True Colors, snatched that basically immediately in Squeenix's little showcase.
You snatched it before me and Hunter even had a chance to remember that we were doing a fantasy
draft. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, and after you thought about it, I spent $15 on that because I'm like, fuck, these two are going to
I learned from my mistakes this week. I saw a game was coming out by a beloved developer, and I was like, yeah, I'm picking that up. I'm not being dumb. You're not fooling me twice this time, dude. But no, you also picked up another game. Yeah.
The other one I picked up, I don't remember if I even put money on this.
It
was Far Cry 6.
That'll be interesting. It'll come out this year, probably. Has it got a date?
Yeah.
It's not dated.
It will be a game.
Q2 to Q3 2021. You can guarantee that it will come out. But
yeah, I felt good picking it up, even though it was undated. And really the only reason I did grab it was because I thought I need another game, and this is at the top of the list.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and so Ubisoft. Ubisoft usually does at least pretty decent performing as far as reviews and stuff go.
It'll be interesting because I think it's gonna go one of two ways. It's either gonna get the Ubisoft standard and everyone goes, or this is the final time where everyone's like, okay, we're sick of Far Cry not doing anything new. Because I feel like Assassin's Creed gets away with it because they hop, skip, and jump time periods every time, so there's a bit of visual difference to it. And Watch Dogs gets away with it because they keep cycling between making good and bad video games. Whereas with Far Cry hasn't deviated from its formula since Far Cry 3. Every game since Far Cry 3 has just been Far Cry 3 in this setting. Far Cry 4 was Far Cry 3 in Asia. Far Cry 5 was Far Cry 3 in America. And Far Cry 6 is Far Cry 3 in West Asia instead of East Asia. Yeah. And Far Cry Primal, which was terrible.
Yeah, that's what it was called.
And New Dawn, which was the spin-off of 5. There's so many Far Cry games. We'll see how it does. I think it'll do fine. I think it'll be fine. It'll get...
It's one of those things, I don't think it'll score negatively.
No, it's points. It's points, you know. At this point, we're just... At this point,
we're really just grabbing anything
we have slots that need to be filled, so we need points at some point. Like, that's the thing. That's what I've realized. I'm not waiting for this magical fucking golden goose to come along and go, I want that. That's not happening. Like,
that's next year, dude.
Yeah, can't wait for next year. It's going to be huge.
I can't wait for the first round of next year to be all of us picking the same things.
Yeah. I can't wait for us to go again. Are we like... We should have like an honor system or something. It's like rollovers, dude. Rollovers. If you picked it, let's do it. There you go.
Yeah, at least like our top pick, like rollover, Zelda, Ragnarok, and Horizon. You know?
No, that's not fair.
Or like,
because then you're saying I can't have God of War. That's not fair. That's fucking bullshit. If that
no, I mean you could have God of War. I'd take Zelda. He takes.
I picked that last, to be fair. It wasn't like...
Okay, by top pick, I meant the one that was clearly going to do the best.
Oh, yeah. And fucking Jack can have Lego Star Wars again. Yeah.
He'd probably have Hollow Knight. I feel like that'd be his best pick. Sam's best pick is coming out this year, so I don't know what he'd get.
I don't know if we mentioned it on the podcast. You did pick up Mario Golf, Hunter. You picked up Mario Golf. And Rune Factory 5.
Yeah, that performs decently, and
Sam picked up nothing since he picked up those 2 games for free and got an 83 and an 82. Sam's just took some time off.
Jack hasn't picked up anything since Shovel Knight.
Here's the thing with those two, by the way. They're not like... They've not forgotten that the fantasy draft's a thing. Whenever we talk about it or type about it, they're replying and stuff like that. They just have been sitting... They've just been sitting either not thinking about it, like when games are announced, or they're just waiting for the inevitable nothingness. And then I don't know how many of these games I announced on the podcast that I picked up, but I've picked up quite a few ever since when Gran Turismo left my fucking grasp. I was like, well, I'm picking stuff up. So I picked up Halo. That's coming out this year, and it will definitely get an 80 because Halos get 80s. Even the shitty one, Halo 5, got an 80. So as far as I'm concerned, if dog shit has the word Halo on it, it gets an 80 on OpenCritic. So I'm just going to take it, you know? And it is coming out this year. But Hunter thinks it's not. But I think he's fucking dumb. They don't delay the game. They don't delay it even more. What are they going to wait for? The fridge is empty. They need something.
The fridge is empty.
I don't know, man.
The fridge is empty and Phil's hungry.
See, what's going to happen is the fridge is going to be empty and they're just going to come back from the grocery store with like 5 exclusives instead of 4.
I don't think... Halo's coming out
They're
this
going to come
year.
back with all these companies.
Forza might not, but Halo's coming out this year.
Supergiant, you go here.
They kind of promised...
No. Don't set that bad juju into the world.
Yeah, but no. It's definitely coming out this year. Call of Duty is definitely coming out this year. I'm not gonna lie. I'm expecting it to get like a 77, and me be perfectly fine with taking those 7 points. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. It's points. Am I gonna play it? Fuck no. Like, I don't care. Like, I buy one COD every like 3 or 4 years whenever it has a zombies mode in it. That's the only one I care about, so I'm not buying it. So there you go. Who cares? It's also made by Sledgehammer, which is the weakest of the 3 developers in my opinion, so it was a terrible decision, but fuck it. We'll just go with it. We'll roll the punches. Then this week I picked up 2 things. After the success of Monster Hunter Rise, I decided to go all in on Monster Hunter as someone that doesn't play Monster Hunter. And I picked up Monster Hunter Stories 2, which is a game I think everyone forgot was coming out. Because I forgot until I saw it on Twitter where someone was like, oh, I hope everyone's enjoying that, but I'm waiting for this one. And I was that's a game.
Pick that other one. Because they had that direct mini that had the 2 of them, and I was like, they went on an awful long time about Rathalos eggs in that one.
It does have a release date. It's July 9th, 2021. It does have a release date, so it is coming out. And I checked the last one. The last one did get an 80, I believe, on OpenCritic, so that's fine by me. That's a free 10 points. It's going to do fine, I'm sure. And then the other one was, didn't want Hunter to have this. As soon as it was out, you should have seen me, right? The other one that I picked was Nobody Saves the World, which is the new game by Drinkbox, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who are the people that made Guacamelee 2, a load of other stuff as well that have been really well received. Nice little indie dev that does everything. And as soon as this was announced, I was like, they said on their tweet where it was coming soon-ish, and I was like, oh, maybe it's not coming out. And then in all the other press briefings from Microsoft and everyone else, they said, no, it's coming this year, and the developer thinks it's going to be summer, but they didn't want to. So when they say soonish, they mean soonish. They mean like in they mean 6 months. So I picked it up. It's going to be a high 80. Let's not joke, dude. Game of the year number 3 on my list, dude. I'm just picking them all up. Greatest game ever made. I'm not going to play it, but I don't care.
Guacamelee got like an 87 or something.
Hell yeah, dude. Join the lineup, dude. I'm going to have like 5 games come out this year, but they're all going to be 87s. We're just going to have the 87 club. That's it. Like, all of them. They're all matching. It Takes Two was an 88 at one point, which would have been hilarious. I was like, if It Takes Two's the highest scoring game of this year, I'm going to fucking laugh. But, no, currently tied. But there you go. There's all the standings. I'm just looking at all the counter picks here. And Sam's the only one that is like anywhere close. Like Sam's counter pick is next week, which will be interesting to see. But the only other ones that we have are, as far as I'm aware, does LEGO Star Wars have a date? No, spring 2021. Well, it's getting a bit late. It's already spring 2021. Where's the fucking release date?
I don't know. Why is this year? Hopefully.
But unless LEGO Star Wars comes out anytime soon, genuinely, I think, does Disguise 6 have a date? June 29th. Yeah, we're going to be waiting until June or so for those 2 to come through. And then, Kyle, you've got Brilliant Diamond, which is going to come out.
Like November.
Yeah.
If it follows when Pokemon
And then I've got Ghostwire, which has October 2021 as its release date. And I'm not going to lie, boys. I'm feeling pretty confident that game's not coming out this year. I'm pretty confident on that one. I honestly don't think that game's coming out.
Do you think it has a better chance than Back 4 Blood?
Well, of not coming out this year? 100%. Back 4 Blood's got another date. I think Back 4 Blood's going to come out. Because it's Sam's game. Of course it's going to come out. If I had it, it'd be pushed to fucking 2024. Yeah. Because all of my other games, it's funny, because it's like, oh yeah, I've got some pretty good... I'm happy with some of them, but it's like, I am literally sitting on on Forza, Shin Megami Tensei, and God of War that are all not coming out this year. SMT has disappeared off the face of the earth again. Atlas is not making video games.
Real.
Remember when they said fucking spring 2021 as the release date for that? That was a good joke, dude.
Remember when it was coming out before Nocturne?
Genuinely, that game's probably just going to get shadow dropped one day.
Probably. I think it's going to get the Bethesda treatment where they announce the game and then it gets released in like 2 months. Where it's just one of those things where it's like, here's SMT5 again. It's out in 2 months. Have fun. The 5 people that are going to buy it, salute to you. Have fun. And I'm really hoping they don't. I feel like they are going to do it, but I think they're going to piss a lot of SMT fans off by doing something along the lines of, here's why you should like SMT. It's like Persona. And then SMT fans all go and shoot themselves because they're trying to advertise it as like Persona, but for Nintendo, like on Nintendo Switch. And then everyone's going to kill themselves. That's a strong prediction from me, but I think it's going to happen. God, could you imagine the uproar? Could you just imagine it? Oh.
Yeah.
Why do internet fans hate other?
Because SMT fans hate Persona, and Persona fans hate SMT fans because they hate Persona fans. It's a loving cycle. It's a great little cycle they have there. It's a great little community, dude. It's a great community, dude. You gotta love the Atlas community, because there's like a small percentage of it that are just all cool people that just share art and have a nice time. And then you have the other side, which are people that haven't played the games and think everything's a reference to Persona 5 and just like fucking big chilling. Like they're just like, yeah, dude. Wow, that like Tokyo, like straight out of Persona 5, dude. Wow, that's crazy. Can't believe Persona invented Tokyo. What a riot.
Yeah, exactly.
God, I hate those people so much.
That's still one of my favorite make up a guy tweets.
Oh, yeah.
Like, guy who goes to Japan and says, wow, this looks just like Persona 5.
Yeah, man. I hate it.
Dude, make up a guy is a fucking funny account. I'm glad they exist.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it, too. It makes me laugh. But with that, do we have anything else? Or are we good? I think we might be
I don't know.
Guys.
One final thing is that a lot of games are coming out in April for what we picked.
Yeah. Oh, we should probably, run through that.
Yeah,
real quick.
Like I said, Oddworld Soulstorm's coming out on the 6th. Nier Replicant will be my first game on the board, coming out on the 23rd.
That's a good one.
That's not the name. Say
New
the name.
Pokemon Snap is coming out a week later.
Version 1.22474487139. Get it in there. Come on, man.
And also coming out on the 30th is Returnal from the Yakabine Experience. So me and Jack have just owned the month of April. And
after
also
being
Sam
dormant, after being dormant for the first 4 months,
for 3 months.
After the first quarter of the year, they've slept, and now they feast, dude. They're out of hibernation, and they're eating, dude. They're eating. It is quite busy because even outside of April, then a week later, Resident Evil is out, and then 2 weeks after that, Deathloop is out, and then 3 weeks after that, Ratchet and Clank and Guilty Gear are out. So,
Guilty Gear, I'm so excited.
Genuinely, like a lot of games are coming out, and then Lego Star Wars, I'm assuming, is slotting in somewhere within these as well. There is,
Lego Star Wars.
It's gonna this is why this year is so interesting. If we had done this last year, it would have been a completely different story because everyone would have been playing the long game. Is what I feel is because there was little coming out early days, but then when the E3 Summer Games mess shit started happening, and Jeff Keighley was like, "Here's 2 announcements over the course of 5 months," and we all had to wait. But there was stuff coming out in November.
Last year, I don't even know what I would have tried to pick in January.
Neither do I. But here's the thing:
would either of you have tried to pick Cyberpunk?
Probably.
Because I know I would
probably.
have.
I probably would have. Because I probably would
on
have.
The grounds, if I adopted the same philosophy I did this year, then no, I would have found. I don't think it's interesting.
If I had adopted the same philosophy as this year, then yes, I would have made it my first pick. Because that's literally I went straight for the high scorers, and to be fair, I believe the Metacritic on Cyberpunk was extremely high. Because every review copy that was given was a PC copy. So I still probably would have benefited from that, even though I would have felt bad about it because it was a shit game in its current state. But whereas last year was very much playing the long game, where everything was coming out in the second half, kind of, or there was a lot of stuff in November, should I say. This year, after June, it's just like, yo, good luck, boys. We'll see you when the scraps happen.
It's a crapshoot at that point.
I'm really hoping some stuff does get announced for this fucking holiday because it's going to be really dull. Like, I remember...
At the moment, we just have Pokemon.
We were guessing. We were like, oh, I think like Ratchet early like May, Horizon in July or August, then God of War could potentially show up in November. I think we're just going straight for maybe Horizon in November. Like, we might get Horizon come out in October or something like that, but I'm just like, there's nothing, like, there's...
Gotta get it out of October so we can win those Game of the Year awards.
Yeah, like, I am scared for the second half of this year, not only as the Fantasy League goes on, but also from a gaming podcast perspective of there's only so much shit I can chat without games coming out, you know? Like,
yeah, true.
And here's the thing, right? We're just a small little podcast. We're not here going, oh, at least we have the funds and the money coming in to get us to talk about things. We genuinely have to sit here and go, okay, seriously, what are we going to talk about for an hour and a half this week?
Yep.
What are we going to do? And if there's no games coming out,
a month from now, so where we rank the third-party developers.
Oh yeah, dude. I can't wait for us to make a list where we're like, here's our ranking of the third-party publishers, and then for Xbox to go, oh, we're just going to buy your top 3 real quick. Yeah, bye. There you go. Xbox Fridge exclusive. Hope you enjoy. But no.
Bye, Supergiant.
Bye, Supergiant.
Stop saying that.
I keep seeing people, like, honestly, share an image of it, like, you know, the Xbox Bethesda partnership, like, thing that they showed the image. They keep doing that, but that it's Xbox and Sega. And every time I see that, there's like a bit of trauma in my head because I'm like, oh, I don't want that.
I don't want it either.
I don't want it because I don't want to play Persona on a fucking Xbox. It'll just feel weird, you know. It's like kind of what's a great example. It's like it's like in the same way that playing like a tactical RPG or whatever. Like, it's like if you were to play like a tactics RPG on a console, or you play The Sims on the console. Sims on console is a great idea, like great example of this. Like it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't matter how well the controls work. It does not feel right to play Sims on console. Yeah, fucking suffering, dude. Like, it's the same way where I'd be like, yeah, I'd buy a console and I'd play it, but it still wouldn't feel right to me. It wouldn't feel right sitting there with an Xbox fucking controller just there.
Especially since Persona's been on PlayStation since the first one.
Yeah.
Persona 3.
It's not like Kingdom Hearts where it shows up every fucking where, dude, where it's like we're on every console. It has kind of just stayed to
Kingdom Hearts has definitely made the round trip.
It's even on Epic Games now. Wow.
Oh baby.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking. It has been, because Persona's now been on PC. It's had 2 games on PC, Golden and Strikers, and Switch has had 1 game, which is Strikers.
Was on PC?
Yep, Strikers came to PC.
Huh.
Which Strikers coming to PC basically has me confirmed that from now on every Persona game when it comes out will also come out on PC. That's just how I feel it's going to happen now. Is after Golden, they were like, oh, there's money in these wars. They're like fucking miners, dude. They're like, there's money in these hills. And they just started going, dude. They're like, off they go, start digging. After Golden became like the top selling game for a week on Steam. Like, that was mental. I think it outsold all of its sales on like fucking Vita in like 3 days or something. It was like crazy. It was crazy.
2 people owned a Vita.
Yeah, 5 people have that.
It was the most sold. I swear it was like one of the best selling games on Vita to Golden's.
Well,
credit.
yeah, but that's
what did it compete with?
Being the best selling game in a Golden of 10 isn't that much.
Patapon,
probably like Uncharted.
Yeah, who knows?
Or like Freedom Wars or
Gravity
something.
Rush, maybe?
Possibly Gravity Rush, yeah.
Oh, thank God Gravity Rush is safe, man. Thank God Gravity Rush got a fucking port.
Oh, yeah, both of those got ported.
Go and play for Gravity Rush if you haven't played Gravity Rush. It's a very good game. Especially the first one. Second one's also very good, but it's like twice the length. And I don't know if you ever played... It's Crash 4 effect, where it's like... It's good, but is it like double the length of a regular platformer good? I don't know about that. Like, I got halfway through...
12 hours?
Gravity Rush 1, I got like platinum, like fully 100% completed that game in like 10, 12 hours. Whereas Gravity Rush 2 was like 24, 30. And I was like, I like this, but if you're going to play them, have a gap. Don't do them back to back like I did, where I was like, I could do another one of these. And it was like, yeah, but could you do another 2 of them because it's twice the length? I'm like, no, I couldn't. It's like Danganronpa when I was like, yeah, I'm sick of Danganronpa. And then like 3 days later, I'm like, I'm going to try playing 2. And then dropped off the face of the planet. 3's on sale right now. And there's so many times where I've looked at it and gone, maybe I could play 3, maybe.
Get it while it's on sale,
but I know it's going to come back on sale for even cheaper, like when I actually want to buy it.
But dude, what if the store shuts down before then?
If the PS5 store shuts down before I want to play fucking Danganronpa 3, I'm going to...
If it shuts down before then, it just wasn't meant to be.
I'm just saying, man, why wait?
I'd buy it on Steam at that point, because isn't it on Steam?
I don't know. I don't have Steam.
I don't know either. I have Steam, but I don't know what's on it. Last time I bought a game for Steam was like Golf with Your Friends or something, like 3 years ago. Every other game's been like a review copy or...
Persona 4 on Steam.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. I was on Steam. Yeah. We've literally just been talking... I forgot about it. It's because I can't wait to play it on the optimal version at 720p 2 frames per second on my PlayStation Vita. I can't wait. We'll play it on stream. We'll definitely do it on stream because I'm going to need someone to drag me through that because fucking hell, that platinum looks tedious as hell. 250 Rize lines? Oof. No thank you. I didn't do that on the Steam version, so I'm going to have to pull a miracle off of that. Anyway. Ranting over.
Ready to do an all social links run in new game.
Oh, baby.
Yo, I can't wait. To be fair, I didn't do that bad. I remember, like, when I played it, I remember saying to you, I think the only ones that I didn't max out was Chie.
Oh man, that means you have to advance Chie past level 2.
I got it to level 9, actually, because I was like, I should probably just for the ending so it makes more sense, have her show up with the goodbyes or whatever. So I was like, I better get you to max. And I fucked it up. I fucked up the calculations by 1 day. So she got to rank 9, not rank 10. And I was like, that's kind of fitting.
That's hilarious.
That's kind of fitting.
But it's also fitting that everyone, you didn't say goodbye to Chie.
Yeah, I didn't say goodbye to Chie because she didn't show up because I was rank 9.
She never moved past level 2 from... Ethan, who's worse, Chie or Mishima?
Chie. I hate Chie more.
Chie?
Okay.
Right, here's the thing. Everyone hates... Oh, fuck, I just dropped my pen. Everyone hates Mishima, and I understand. But I personally, I don't hate him as much as everyone else. Like, everyone else has a fucking burning hatred. And I'm just like... Out of a cast of characters where I like nearly all of them, you're the one where I'm like, eh. Like, to me, he's just, Whereas Chie, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, honestly, you're so annoying. Stop screaming. Why'd you say every fucking every voice line like you're in an outdoor scenario shouting at them? Like, so annoying. No.
Although, Chie and Mishima both kind of... Go on, Hunter.
You first.
I was just going to say, Chie and Mishima kind of fall into the same boat, where after the first chapter of the game, they kind of just disappear.
Yeah.
And they just kind of stop existing in the plot.
But one of them's a main character and the other one is a side character, so I forgive the side character more for not existing, because at least it's my choice.
Yeah, but even then, Chie doesn't say much after Nico's shenanigans.
Yeah, true. Anyway, Hunter, go on.
So, at the very least, I don't have to hear Mishima speak as much, so he's less offensive in that regard.
Also, Mishima's voice is a lot less grating than Chie's.
And after the first, couple of lines he gets, he doesn't get any more that are spoken, mercifully.
The only thing I hate about Mishima is when they force him on you in cutscenes, like in Hawaii and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's irritating.
Where I'm like, don't force him in on this. Like, don't make me share a room with him. This is fucking dumb.
I just also don't respect him.
Just to have him get sick and be in the bathroom.
Which is fine, because I really like that scene in the between Ryuji and
it's a good
your
scene.
Character. I like that. It's a good
it's
scene.
Almost like Mishima had no reason to be there.
Yeah, Ryuji could have just been your roommate.
But it's one of those, to me, it's one of those things where it's like, even though I hate Mishima, he's like a one-off where it's like him and then maybe Oya that I don't really care that much about. Whereas in P4 very much to me is a story about you and your friends. Whereas all the side confidants, except for a handful of them, like some of the students at the school, all of like the adult social links or whatever, I did not really care for in that game. Where it was like, I care about my friends, and I care about a couple of people at the school, and everyone else, I don't really. They fall into the Mishima category of, when I've got nothing better to do, hello, I'll hang out with you once. They were those kinds of characters. So I don't hate Mishima. Sam hates Mishima. Like, he fucking despises him. And a lot of people on the internet hate Mishima. I don't hate him that much. I just think he's less tolerable than the rest of the characters, I guess. But anyway, with that...
Kamoshida did nothing wrong because he spiked a volleyball into Mishima's face.
His biggest crime was not killing him.
I don't know about that one, Chief. I'm just gonna...
Nope, sarcasm.
I'm just gonna whistle and move on, dude. Just whistle and walk away. Smile and wave. But with that has been another episode of the HGO podcast. Thank you ever so much for listening this week. Hunter, where can people find you?
YouTube.com/ReaperHunter23.
Nice. And Kyle, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch, both at KDavisSRL.
Nice, and you can find me at Chaotic Ether on both Twitter and Twitch. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, for another episode. Remember, Hunter's got a Persona 5 Strikers review coming out this Wednesday, because I can't be bothered to finish that game, apparently, because I still haven't finished that game.
You're never going to get the spoiler cast for it.
When I finish the game, where if you saw the epic saga of my tweets this past weekend, where I said I will finish Persona 5 Strikers this weekend, which with a reply tweet of, I did not finish Persona 5 Strikers this weekend. I played for 3 hours.
I didn't realize you replied to it.
Yeah, I replied to it saying I haven't finished it. Like I didn't. Like It didn't happen. I played for 3 hours where I got all my characters to the same level again, where they're all like equal. And now I can play the game properly. But I just need to sit down and do it. But it's hard to find the time, to be honest, because during the day I'm trying to be productive and not play video games and do things. And then when it comes to night, I get easily distracted. So I just end up not doing anything. But I digress. Next week, maybe I'll have a finish. Maybe we'll have a spoiler cast some point in April. There'll be a spoiler cast at some point in April. And it'll be a bonus episode. And you'll hear about it. It won't be a May Monday episode. It'll be its own thing. It'll go on podcast services separately. It'll all be that thing. You'll hear about it later. It'll happen when I finish the game. But with that, thank you so much for listening this week. We'll be back next time, same place, same time, same place for more. Gosh, can't even say anything anymore. Hunter, blah, 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 review, Wednesday. Watch it, please. Please watch it. Please. Please watch all of the content. Yeah. And then, is there anything else? I think that's it. I think we're good.
I think that's it.
That's it. We're good. Right then. I've got to now go and edit this. It's 2:10. This has got to be up in fucking 12 hours. Like, great.
We could have recorded yesterday.
But oh well. We live and learn. But until then, have a great...
No, I need to play Persona 5 Strikers.
I didn't play Persona 5 Strikers.
I know.
I did a test
stream. At least I got to play Bloodborne.
And you get to go back and play it now. Lucky you. I get to sit here and edit. But until next week, have a great week, everybody. Hope you all have an awesome week. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.